It actually, if you look around the country, they do have programs, unfortunately. Well, they will take a student, look at their race, say, okay, you're white, you're an oppressor. If you're black, you're oppressed. And think about what that does to a 6 or 7-year-old kid. That's wrong. You're seeing that. You have people that are teaching, and actually his running mate has said this in the past, that teaching the United States was built on stolen land. That is inappropriate for our schools. It's not true.
That was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, apparently forgetting that the name of his state is a Spanish word, and that the Spanish and the Seminole Indians aren't running Florida today because Andrew Jackson just had to have his orange juice. Here's more madness from the DeSantis-Crist debate.
Talk about Joe Biden a lot. I understand. You think you're going to be running against him. I can see how you might get confused. But you're running for governor. You're running for governor. And I have a question for you. You're running for governor. Why don't you look in the eyes of the people of the state of Florida and say to them, if you're reelected, you will serve a full 4-year term as governor? Yes or no? Yes or no, Ron? Will you serve a full 4-year term if you're reelected governor of Florida? It's not a tough question. It's a fair question. He won't tell you.
It turns out Democratic candidate for governor Charlie Crist has finally found a way to get Ron DeSantis to shut up. Just ask him to commit to serving his full term as governor. Ron is so tight-lipped because he's hiding the worst-kept secret in politics. He really, really wants to be president in 2024, and governing Florida will just get in the way. But Ron doesn't want to say that. Instead, he'd rather try and pull a Homer Simpson and vanish back into the bushes. Unfortunately for Crist and all of Florida, honestly, Ron DeSantis currently holds a 12-point lead in the latest Data for Progress poll. That's why DeSantis can get away with dodging every important question, including this one, about whether he supports any exceptions for abortion. And spoiler alert, DeSantis absolutely does not.
He wouldn't answer your question. Do you want to ban abortion completely? He never got to it. He talked about Jamaica. I don't want to ban abortion. I want to make sure we keep a woman's right to choose available to the women of the state of Florida. And I want to make sure that we don't have a governor in the future who wouldn't even allow exceptions for rape or incest. We just found out recently about a case of a middle school girl near Jacksonville who was a victim of incest, became impregnated. Because of the bill you signed, Governor, she had to go 2 to 3 states in order to take care of this issue. That's not compassionate leadership. That's not doing the right thing. That's not even having a heart.
Crist is talking about a recent heartbreaking case involving a 15-year-old girl who was raped by a family member. She was turned away repeatedly by Florida abortion clinics and forced to leave the state to obtain an abortion. And don't let the DeSantis silence fool you. He's right in line with Missouri, which is debating banning women from leaving the state entirely if they're leaving to get an abortion. That's terrible. But just because DeSantis is ahead in the polls doesn't mean all is going well over there in MAGA land. According to new reporting by Vanity Fair, someone very powerful is planning to kneecap DeSantis in the days leading up to November 8th. And DeSantis should be worried, because that person isn't a Democrat. It's his old frenemy, Donald Trump. Trump announced a Miami-based rally just 2 days before the midterm elections, and Ron DeSantis was notably not invited. According to one Republican strategist, no Republican will go to a DeSantis event that day. Another Republican insider called Trump's rally an intentional elbow to Ron's throat. Both men are eyeing the White House in 2024, but Trump is the only one willing to scorch the earth to get there. Republicans have been doing their best to hide the growing Trump-DeSantis mutual hatred, but they're not doing a very good job. Here's veteran Republican writer and commentator George Will explaining why the Trump-DeSantis battle should have Republicans really concerned.
Well, Republicans have been fighting with one another since Teddy Roosevelt fought with William Howard Taft in 1912, since the Eisenhower Republicans fought with the Taft Republicans in 1952, since the Goldwater Republicans fought with the Rockefeller Republicans in 1964. But this is different. It's more bitter, and it's about an entirely different style of politics. So it's very hard to kill an American political party, but the Republicans are doing their damnedest.
Yeah, you heard that right. George Will almost said it's hard to kill a rat before quickly correcting himself and saying Republican Party. And here's something Will left out. Those big Republican fights in 1912 and 1964 both led to Democratic presidential candidates wiping the floor with their GOP opponents. And this Trump-DeSantis fight is about to set a new standard for the word divisive. And things are shaping up to be a real bruiser on the MAGA right. In January, a poll found Trump leading DeSantis nationally by a respectable 7 points, 47-40. But a USA Today poll published this month found that had flipped. Now DeSantis leads 48-40. Those numbers have moved back and forth all year to the growing frustration of prominent Republicans.
Anybody not named Trump, I think, is so much more likely to win the White House for us. Why would we want to risk giving the nomination to somebody that we know? We haven't lost, my party hasn't lost this much this fast than we have with Trump. We lost the House, the Senate, and the White House in the span of 2 years. I don't want to repeat that. I want to win.
Joining us now, and I'm delighted he's with us, Governor Ron DeSantis from the great state of Florida. I mean, you're just the guy, you're the man of the moment.
Oh boy, Paul Ryan is mad. Someone call the nanny. And this can't feel good if you're Donald Trump, because things are going about as well as you'd imagine. He's blasting Fox News for turning on him and accusing his old friends of being Republicans in name only. And Trump has a pretty clear message for DeSantis, too. Buckle up, buddy. Things are gonna get crazy.
If I faced him, Ron DeSantis, I'd beat him like I would beat everybody else. I don't think I will face him. I think most people would drop out. I think he would drop out.
It's clear Trump expects more knee-bending loyalty from the Republicans in the run-up to 2024. Also clear nothing is going to stop him from running for president again. But Ron DeSantis is no better, and is in fact a more dangerous version of Trumpism. DeSantis has openly positioned himself as the best of MAGA without the burden of Trump. And it's a message plenty of Republicans are eager to hear. If this is the best the Republican Party has to offer, our country is in deep trouble. It seems unlikely that DeSantis will lose this November, but that's no reason for Democrats to step off the gas. The American people deserve to know what kind of monster Ron DeSantis truly is. The future of our republic depends on it. If you made it to the end, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like and consider subscribing. And leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.